What's going on, guys? It's Sam, the Raid Band. We are finally back from vacation for now. Got a lot of traveling coming up. Want to briefly pull a few of these summon pools, whatever you call them, prism crystals. And then I want to kind of show you some of the newest champions I got. I've been on vacation for almost 2 weeks in Hawaii with my wife for our 5-year anniversary. It was beautiful. I'm very sunburnt. I don't know if you can really see on the camera, but very sunburnt. It was a great time. We did pull a few new legendaries. I've got 3 of these prism shards, so maybe can get a little bit of luck recording. I would love a Feral or another Michinaki. Those would really be the 2. Okay, let's go ahead and just pull these 3, and then I want to show you the rest of the champions that I already have. Another Skull Crusher. I think mine might be +4. I'm not sure. If not, he's close. Come on, for the video. I do need to +4 my Morag, so that's good. Come on, 1 legendary for the video. Okay, 3 epics. Kind of what you expect. Another Grush. I did buy a few of those earlier. So let's just go over my newest legendaries that I've pulled. I don't think I've leveled any of them out since I've been in Hawaii. So first up, this was in a video recently. I pulled Supreme Aethel, who I don't think is very good. I know she got buffed. Don't think she's great. That was right before my trip. I did pull Blizzard. I think that was also the Prism Crystals, and I earned a few of them. I was able to pull him. I did not fuse Blizzard, so I'm pretty excited to get him. Never really built him before. Let's see. And then on the buy one, get one free on the Ancient Shards, I don't know if you guys saw my community post. I try and post there often. I pulled a Wither and a Glacea, both of which are new in the account. So Glacea is really cool looking. I mean, just these gorgeous, massive wings. Just not a great champion, sadly. So she attacks one enemy, chance placing a freeze, also applies a debuff spread, taking 1 random debuff from the targets and placing it on all enemies under freeze. So not bad, but not great, because you just can't freeze bosses. So where is this useful for? Waves, Fire Knight, maybe. Attacks all enemies, places weaken, also steals 1 random buff from each enemy under freeze, but it's so rare for someone to have buffs and be frozen. Typically you freeze them so they can't take a turn. It's weird, unless you're playing in the arena and they've got a shield or something. Or Stone Skin, I guess, but places block debuffs on all allies, also has a 60 books to 80% chance of placing freeze, fills the champion's turn meter by 15% for each freeze. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. If this was 100%, it wouldn't be bad, but it's just, you gotta throw books in there. 80% freeze on a 4-turn cooldown. I just don't know if that's good enough. What is Supreme Aethel's freeze? AoE, this is a 4-turn books to a 3-turn, and it's 100% freeze. What is Blizzard's? Talks on enemies books to a 100% chance of freeze, also on a 4-turn, and decreases their turn meter. So yeah, Glacea, I would argue, pretty substantially needs a buff. I don't think there's much to argue there. Wither is cool. She used to be very, very meta as like a solo champ or as like a stall arena defense, but not so much anymore. AoE on the A1, that's nice. Leech, increased defense, increases the duration of all continuous heals, and then activates continuous heals on all allies, so it's a big heal. Removes all debuffs from all allies, so she's placing the continuous heal on the A1. Full cleanse, and then heals all allies by 30% of her max HP, which is, let's look at what it is when she's fully up, because it won't show me now. There she is. 24k, so that's like a pretty beefy, I would assume you're going to build her pretty tanky with lots of HP. So that should be a pretty beefy heal. Next up is Giath, which is the legendary I was able to pull from the Prism Crystals earlier on my trip, either yesterday or the day before, who's very interesting. And let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of Giath the Truth Shield? I don't think she's spectacular, but I'm more than willing to make a video about her, try her. Attacks one enemy, places an extra hit on any enemy or all enemies under decreased crit rate or decreased crit damage debuffs placed by this champion. Extra hit is always a normal hit and will ignore 50% of each target's defense. I haven't seen any videos on her. I'll try and find some. I don't know if this smacks. It's very interesting. A1 also plays increased defense on herself on the A1 based on defense. AoE, 4-turn or books to 3-turn cooldown. Increase the duration of all ally buffs. So this could be a Infinity Shield type champion. Damage inflicted by this skill increases by 5% for each buff that had its duration increased. So I'm thinking, let me pull up Hell Hades' website. I want to look up her multipliers because in the Wixwell Infinity team, there, especially if you use like Padraig or someone else who places a few more buffs, you can have 8 to 10 buffs on every champion times 5. So if this nukes, then that could really nuke. So let's see. Hades 3.1 is godlike. Doesn't say like per hit, like if it's the single target or the AoE that's godlike. I would assume it's the AoE just because it's ignoring defense. This one is strong. Okay, so 3.7 defense, that's not bad. And then times 5% for each buff. So let's just do some quick math. So again, we're going to go look at her base. What is she again? She is Night Rev. Let's see what her base defense is. To just try and get like an idea of what is like a solid defense we could build her up to. There she is. 1,400. So we could easily do, let's just say 4,000 defense. Let me pull up my calculator. 4,000 defense times 3.7. And then we're going to do times 5% for each buff. So let's do 5 people. Let's just say 8 buffs per person. So that's 40 buffs. So 40 times 0.5 would be 200% extra damage. I'm looking at that calculation. So it should be, maybe I need to consult someone smarter like Saf. 3.7 times defense. I've got that times 0.005 total duration. So that's going to be the 40 times 0.005, which is just 2. Okay, and then you can do it times crit rate. So that base damage would be 29,600. It's interesting. I think I do want to try her. Maybe I can run her in my clan boss team instead of a Demitha. So this is the team I currently run with Mikage and Demitha and Brogni. So I could probably run her instead of Demitha. She's extending the duration of buffs and hopefully nuking. But my Demitha is also 6-star awakened. So I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Was that all of them? Oh, there's one more. And this one I pulled from a shard and I was pretty excited. I pulled a Ray. Actually, my wife pulled this for me, actually, funnily enough. And I've never had a Ray before. I actually did pull her, the weirdest circumstances, in the Hell Hades free-to-play competition this past year, which I was lucky enough to be one of the content creators to participate in. But I pulled her, obviously I couldn't use her because it's epics and below only. So I never was able to use her. Even though I pulled her so early, she would have been a massive game changer. Her A1, chance of placing decreased defense, big decreased defense once she's ascended, books to a 50% chance, which is pretty good A1. AoE inflicts 50% more damage against targets under debuffs. Again, that's really nice. She's placing some debuffs, and you'll probably have her on a team with some people with debuffs. And then AoE, full buff strip, 50% chance, books to 70% chance of placing freeze. So I was looking at these champions. I'm like, I have a lot of freeze champions. 1 freeze champion, 2, 3, 4. 4 freeze champions that I've just pulled recently. She's got a 33% speed in dungeons aura, which is really, really cool. I've seen some like +4 rays do some absolute damage. I just think all AoEs is always fun. I think the 50% extra damage against people with debuffs is fun. So I might test that in like Hydra or something like that. That's always going to be fun. So yeah, nothing here. I would love a Michinaki. Giath is interesting, but Feral, man, I would love a Feral. That's why I ended up spending some money on this, even though I probably shouldn't have. Besides that, I'm trying to catch up. I'm currently watching a Hell Hades video on my other TV. I'm trying to catch up on all the news and all the updates. Lots of stuff has happened while I'm gone. And then I'm about to leave this weekend. And then I'm here for a week, for the week of 4th of July. So hopefully I can make some videos and it'll be kind of back to normal. But then I'm gone for 2 more weeks. 1 week at the beach with my wife's family, and then 1 week in Seattle for work. So life's very hectic right now. So just know that coming up. If you don't see many videos coming from me, that's kind of why. I'm going to continue doing our posts. I've really, really enjoyed doing the community polls, and that's something I want to lean into. We're going to continue to do more and more and more. The current one we've been doing is who is the worst Void Legendary from each of these factions. And I think we've made it all the way through these first 8. So then these remaining 7 we will do soon. Yeah, we have not done this one yet. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to make a summary video kind of talking about the first 8. Then I'll make a summary video once we've done all of them, and then it's on to the next community poll. The goal of that is to kind of get some definitive information of how the community, both you guys and us as content creators, feel about certain champions, hopefully to relay that information to Raid. If not, just to have it for fun. Who is, the biggest losers, things like that. Anyways, I've rambled enough. Glad to be back. Thank you guys for all the support and love, and I'll see you guys on the next video.